Good morning, everyone. This is Curtis with Insurance Agency Marketing Services, and I want to thank everybody for taking some time to be with us today. We've got a really great presentation. It's a very timely presentation, given everything going on in the news about concerns about taxes and taxation and the upcoming election. And so, as many of you know that sit on these IAMS is dedicated to making sure that we're putting out some really good content. And so I wanted to take a minute here before we get into the main event and talk about some of the additional ways that IAMS is here to support your business. First up is our new producer builders. You can see there that we've got a variety of point totals. If you're new to IAMS, as you're producing business, you can qualify for different tiers. And there's a wealth of different things on there, whether it's marketing and prospecting to trips to just straight cash. And if you've got questions about what your point total is or how you participate in that, just reach out and talk to one of the sales directors over here. That number is 800-255-5055. In addition to that, once you've cashed in on your new producer bonus, you go into our marketing reimbursement program. That's $100 for every 100,000 of FIA premium and $200 for every 100,000 of single premium life or target. In addition to that, if you know of an agent who maybe isn't quite happy with their current relationship or you think they might be a good fit for IAMS, send them our way. Not only will you get a bonus when they get contracted, but then on an ongoing basis, you'll receive revenue based off of their production. You don't have to provide any service. We'll take care of all of that. It doesn't cut into their commissions whatsoever. And so great opportunity to generate an additional revenue stream coming back to you. In addition to that, and I'll just briefly touch on our back office support. Service has been a core piece of who IAMS is for the last 38 years, and I would strongly encourage you, if you haven't tested us out on that, you definitely should, whether it's on front-end sales support or on new business processing or licensing. The team really understands the importance of doing a good job and providing a high service level for our advisors. We've also got our IAMS portal, which is a wealth of resources. You do need to be contracted with us to access it, which if you've got questions on doing that, reach out, talk to our sales directors. That number is 800-255-5055. But on our IAMS portal, not only can you get a wealth of sales support and marketing ideas, but you can also do e-applications, you can run illustrations, you can get annuity rates, you can get underwriting requirements. We've got our sales resource library on there, which literally has hundreds of point-of-sale pieces that you can instantly download. So just a ton of information that is on there to help support your business, and we're always updating. In fact, we've got some pretty exciting announcements that we'll be doing here in the next couple of weeks on some enhancements that we're going to be doing to the IAMS portal as well. As I touched on, we do integrate to do e-applications right off of our IAMS portal, and we do integrate with all of your major platforms, so Firelight, iPipeline, as well as Sunfire. And then we also have some cheat sheets, and I'll show you an example of that here, where it's the breakdown in Firelight and all the carriers that they integrate with. Next up is our creative department, and creative really is the key word. We've got a very talented team that work with a number of reps all over the country who are all targeting different target markets, have different business value propositions, and they're very, very effective at taking an idea and then really developing the visual representation of that. The other thing that they are very effective at is helping agents figure out, what do I need to do from a marketing standpoint? In fact, I'm going to launch our first poll here of our presentation, which is on our marketing analysis process. And so if you think about when you meet with a client, oftentimes they've got goals, and you're going through a needs analysis trying to determine what assets do you have, what are the time horizons, what are the challenges, and how do we put together the right plan for you. We take that same approach when it comes to marketing. Most advisors are looking for growth in their business, and so it's not just about the growth, it's about, okay, so what do you want your business to look like? What does it look like today? How are you currently marketing? And then what is the right mix and optimal blend of marketing strategies to help you bridge that gap? And so it's completely complementary. It's over a two-part process, so we'll do basically a needs analysis with you, and then we'll have a follow-up where we go through the different options that we think makes the most sense. So I'll go ahead and get this closed down so we can keep moving through the presentation. IAMS Wealth Management. So very proud of this. IAMS does have an RIA. Built out several years ago. It's had significant growth. But I think one of the biggest things about IAMS Wealth is it's really designed for that agent who is doing more comprehensive planning. They're selling life insurance. They're selling annuities. They want to add AUM to their business. And so they're very high service and very focused on supporting the agent. And so if you're maybe not quite happy with your current RIA relationship or you're thinking about getting your 65, reach out, give us a call, talk to your sales director. They can get you connected with IAMS Wealth, and they can chat with you to see if that might make sense to make that change. We also have our life and annuity academies, and we actually just came off of our first one last week, and was, I always enjoy doing the academies. I enjoy spending time with our agents and advisors, but it really is an amazing opportunity to spend your time focusing on your business. It's tough when you're out in the field. You're working in your business, you're prospecting and marketing, dealing with carriers, IMOs, clients, just running the business in general. And so the opportunity to take a couple of days and just specifically focus on your business and what you want it to look like and what's out there and what are the resources at your fingertips to help you accomplish your goals, I think is a great opportunity. I'm going to go ahead and I'll launch our second poll of the day, which is if you have interest in that. But I mean, as you saw, we cover trends in the annuity space, the life insurance space, marketing best practices. We bring in top producers to talk about things that they are doing that are creating success for them. And I think one of the neat things about the event is not only do we talk about big topics that you can incorporate into your business, but we also talk about a blend of things that you can immediately, when you get back, immediately start implementing and see a difference in your practice. So a ton of opportunity there. These do fill up pretty quick. So we are going to be announcing our next one here, I believe next week, and the dates on that. So be on the lookout, but definitely if you want to get your name in there, check yes on the poll. So I'll get that closed down here real quick here. Lastly, make sure to like and follow us on Facebook and LinkedIn. We syndicate a lot of content out on social media as well as email, and it's one of the best ways to get current information very quickly. And so we do post every single day. And again, whether it's rates, new products, marketing, you name it, we cover a range of topics. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and get this switched over here. So with me today is Tyler Randall. He's with Stonewood. I've had the pleasure of knowing and working with Tyler for a number of years now, and I think one of the things that we see out there is we talk about a lot of different concepts to provide solutions to the prospects that we talk to, and at times I think it can be challenging because we're talking to somebody who they got their regular job, they're doing different things, and so trying to figure out how do we take maybe a complex concept and articulate that in a simple and straightforward manner is not always easy. I think the other thing too is how do we show people real world scenarios on what does this look like for you? And so Stonewood does an amazing job, but they do an amazing job on a lot of things. So that's part of what we wanted to have them on here. So Tyler, appreciate you taking some time with us today and kind of giving us an overview of what Stonewood will give the agents access to.
Yeah, sure. Great. Appreciate you having me. And can you see my screen okay? Hear me okay?
I can, yes.
Terrific. Well, welcome everyone. And yes, my name is Tyler Randall, and I just want to take you through some resources that I think will help differentiate your business, some little sound bites and nuggets and things that you can incorporate in your practice if you get nothing else out of it, and then share with you a number of resources that Stonewood offers through our partnership with IAMS that can help you do more business in the tax-free space. And so 99% of advisors out there are kind of talking the same language, and what I want to give you today is something to really differentiate yourself. And a lot of that with the election heating up, it's impossible to avoid all the political ads. The tax and legislative risk messaging is really hitting home right now. And that's how we can help clients and prospects protect themselves from rising tax risk and legislative risk, which is Congress's ability to go in and change the rules on us on our qualified accounts. That's where everybody has most of their money that we're working with, is in a tax deferred account that's never paid any taxes. So how can we help them protect that asset, their most valuable asset in a lot of cases? And I want to give you a few message frames for that. And so as we discuss that, and that's probably nothing new to everybody on this call, but I want to give you some sound bites and some ways to frame helping clients with the tax and legislative risk that may entice them to want to talk to you if they're a prospect, or if you have existing clients that you're wanting to work with and talk about addressing some of these issues, that you can nurture them along to do some new business or gather some new assets. And so I hope you'll be able to lead with some things that will work in your practice. So the first part of what we do is define ourselves and a lot of our resources, a lot of our marketing around how we're different. Now everybody, most of your CPAs, a lot of financial advisors do what we call micro tax analysis, which is looking at a 1 year period, 1 year point of time, and helping clients and prospects reduce taxes in this given year. 2023, we just went through, and then when 2024 ends, people will look at reducing taxes for 2024. The way we differentiate ourselves is to let clients and prospects know we do macro tax analysis, which is, I want to look at your 30-year retirement or leading up to retirement over your lifetime and help you reduce your taxes hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of dollars in taxes by doing a little bit broader view of tax reduction. Okay, that sounds different, right? That's a different type of terminology they're probably not hearing out there. We also want to let clients know that we realize the tax code is written in pencil. Well, what does that mean? That means that Congress can get together and change the rules on us, just like they did with the Secure Act, where we eliminated stretch IRAs and we went back and now, most retirement accounts have to be distributed over 10 years. Well, I don't know if you've taken a look at what's happening with the Congressional Budget Office, but there are options for reducing the deficit. This is just most recently 2023, but you can see this extends out to 2032. This is over our clients' retirement years and a lot of folks that are in or near retirement. And this is an issue. These are 2 volumes, not just one. There's a larger reductions and smaller reductions. These are each 100 pages, and they're riddled with new taxes, tax changes, tax rule changes around your qualified accounts that haven't become bills yet, but these are being proposed in Congress. This is legislative risk. So one way that we can help clients as we take a macro view of what's happening in our economy and in our political system right now is to talk to them about being in an account. Are you in an individual retirement account? Are you in a 401k account? These are all subject to legislative risk. What we can help clients and prospects with is helping them be in contracts. If we start saving in a contract, like a insurance contract or an IUL contract, or we convert money from an account to a contract, now we're in a private contract with you and an insurance company, and Congress has a very difficult time changing private contracts. Usually, if there are rule changes, it's on a go-forward basis. In other words, contracts are typically grandfathered into the rules that are applied to those contracts. And so as we start saying, you know what, Mr. and Mrs. Client, or Mr. and Mr. Prospect, we do macro analysis. We help you save hundreds of thousands of dollars in taxes over your retirement years. I can help you with that. We also try to eliminate a lot of legislative risk by having our clients or a portion of their money in a contract that the rules are hard to change on. Those little sound bites will differentiate you, and in this business, differences sell. So looking through, trying to mitigate tax and legislative risk through those lenses, how can we make it easy for the general public to understand our our benefit of working with you. And that's where Stonewood comes in. We provide you three things. We provide you software to help tell the story point of sale, how I can show you exactly the tax and income creation and legislative risk protection that I can give you. We give you marketing to simply tell the story in a number of different ways, books and seminars and one-pagers and white papers, and I'm going to take you through that. And then we do a very comprehensive training. So although we're just introducing you to these concepts, today we do a live event. We do many virtual events, lots of on-demand training that you can access so that you can really sharpen up the messaging around what you just heard me mention about macro analysis and you know, contracts versus accounts. So let's look at the marketing side of it first. If you want to take and run a seminar, or workshop, or webinar, and you don't want to recreate the wheel, well, you partner with Stonewood. We have some special pricing through IAMS to access and become a member, and you can get on demand. These are just a few of our toolkits that are available. The one that people are getting a tremendous response to right now is Protecting Retirement from Washington, the Legislative Risk Toolkit. And that's a seminar PowerPoint that's built out. All the speaker notes are there for you to use. There's a sample video of us presenting it. There's white papers, there's social media content, there's email campaigns, everything you would need to be able to run a workshop or a webinar or seminar. And so you can DIY this, do it yourself. We also have automated webinars that you can run and promote on Facebook and LinkedIn and those sort of things, and just take the meetings. We have a number of ways, depending on what you're comfortable with, to tell that messaging and take and receive new prospects and turn them into clients. So there's a lot of toolkits here. This is a look inside that legislative risk toolkit. I mentioned these things, but the seminars and the email campaigns, consumer videos, these are all accessible, so you can start telling the story of legislative risk and how you can help clients and prospects. One lead gen program that we're using is a program called Retirement Tax Bill. And there's a number of applications for this, but what it is we build out a custom landing page so that you can help clients and prospects answer this question: could your tax bill in retirement be too big? Find out in 30 seconds. And we put your logo and information up in the upper left. You can use an email campaign and send this out to clients and prospects. You could take this page and post it on your website with a button. You can put it out on social media. The whole idea is for somebody to see if there is a significant tax savings they could have by working with you, the macro tax analysis, and do it in an efficient and effective way. So what can somebody do? Let's say I had 100 people on a lead list that I wanted to send this website out to and say, hey, Curtis, take a minute and run your tax bill and see if there is over $100,000 in tax savings. We should really schedule some time to talk. You may have a tax issue that we can help you address. And somebody can put in their name, their age, their dollar amount, and their qualified account here. This is a 60-year-old with $500,000. They fill in their contact information, and literally in under a minute, they press a button and they find out, this page pops up, and they find out that on their existing approach with $500,000, they're on pace to pay $431,000 in taxes. And that may be a surprise or a shock to a lot of people. And then the total potential taxes with adjustments is $120,000. We don't define what those adjustments are. This is a marketing page. We want people to have questions like, okay, how do I make those adjustments? How do I take my taxes from 431 down to 120,000? We said we'd help people with macro tax analysis. This is a $300,000 tax savings that somebody may be able to benefit from, and they need to talk to you to find out how. And this is where your calendar link can sit right here. They can schedule a meeting, and you'll get some meetings from that page, but the real call to action is for them to check their inbox, and we auto-generate a report that gives them a little bit more information on where those taxes are going to come from. As you can see, $187,000 from RMDs alone. At death, there's $161,000 in taxes, and if they reinvest their RMDs, there's $86,000 of taxes on the gains that they would have over their lifetime if they're a reinvestor of RMDs rather than spending it. And if we reallocate to a tax-free, and we don't name the tax-free. It could be a Roth, could be an IUL, could be whatever tax-free you wish. We want to have questions on it, and that's where that email with the report says, hey, let's schedule some time and talk, and your calendar link can sit right there. If you have this hypothetical 100-person prospect list that you sent this out to, and you had 10 people run reports, all of them would end up in your Stonewood dashboard for follow-up. Some will end up on your calendar just because they've never seen this kind of macro analysis before, or their total tax bill. And so although there's a lot of applications for this, you've got follow-up list here where now we're able to efficiently engage people in a conversation around macro tax analysis. So keeping it simple, like Curtis mentioned up front, that's what we do best. If you want to take buttons like this and put it in your email signature so everybody can run their tax bill that you email with, or you want to put it on your website, or you want to push it out on social medias, your Facebook and LinkedIn, there's all kinds of ways to use retirement tax bill. We have a follow-up funnel so you can nurture people along until they end up on your calendar, and all the content is built out for you. We have a playbook on how to use it digitally, or referrals, or call to action from your seminars or workshops or radio or TV. Very, very effective. This is one client of ours that has been using this the last quarter down in Florida, and the results that he has received. He's got about 100 total leads, 18 have become clients. There's still a good group of warm leads, as he tells us, about 70. And it's translated to 5 million in annuity business, 10 million in AUM, and 170K in target. It fills up the bucket. If whatever you're looking to do, this type of macro analysis, moving from contracts, or from accounts, to contracts, this terminology and this tax savings is certainly something that will get people's interest. So if you would like to use this, I'm going to tell you how to plug into Stonewood and the special pricing through IAMS here at the end. But this has been a highly effective way to engage people in that macro analysis conversation in an efficient and effective way. Beyond that, we have a number of white papers and one-pagers that you can use. You can use them as lead gen and customize them. That Washington in your retirement, 4 risks to watch, or could higher taxes derail your retirement approach. These are great drip giveaways. They're great lead gen creators. The one in the middle is specifically around IUL. If you've ever been looking for a one-pager on IUL that tells all the benefits, there you go. It's available. You can download it and use it. If you like to market with books, we've authored 3 of them. The 2 that are IUL focused, in the middle book, The New Holistic Retirement, is more general, talking about tax-free investing versus tax-deferred investing. And they're 100-page books. They're available hard copy and ebook form. If you want to customize the books by writing the foreword on the front and put your picture and bio on the back, we've got the capability to do that. If you've read the book and you really like it and you want to customize it with your info, there's certainly a program to do that so you can be associated with it. And then, of course, there's a lot of these slide decks, PowerPoints that are built out that you can just on demand download and utilize and start running a seminar like this. And the call to action we usually do at the end is offer a tax and income analysis for clients, and we'll give them a copy of the book. That will generally help you pick up a few more meetings than you're getting in your typical seminar or webinar right now. So if you just want to steal that slide and use it and offer a tax and income analysis in the book, you can do that. And I'm going to show you what some of that reporting looks like here in a minute. But that's the marketing side of things. That's part 1 of what we do. The next part of it is the software. Okay, somebody says yes. How do we simplify the messaging to a client or prospect? And we've got software for annuities. We've got software for IUL to make it simple. We've got software to convert to an IUL and do tax and income analysis and legacy reports on all of it. So I'm going to share with you an annuity report first. This is actually built for the income annuity, so that if we've recommended an annuity to a client, usually the number 1 thing they Google is this a good investment? And so we built this report to say, yes, it is. And in fact, it's very difficult and sometimes impossible to replicate what the annuity does for you from an income standpoint in retirement. And so we call this annuity report Annuity Alpha. And the sample case study is a client with $100,000. She's 65, going to retire at 70. And so what we need in our software is for you to just make some account assumptions. Let's say this money is over at Edward Jones right now, and it's a 50-50 portfolio. We would put in some assumptions on equity and fixed. We did 8% growth on equities, 4% on fixed, to blend out at 6% and an account expense of 1.5. The next thing we need to know is, what is the annuity income at age 70? In this case, it was $11,265. Great. We press a button and we're going to create, it's about a 5 or 6 page report, but the pages that we show, of course, these are all white labeled for your business. So the front will be your client's information with your logo. There's some disclosure pages, and then there's the presentation pages. So this is one of the presentation pages, which is, this is what the annuity provides. It's $11,265 for life, could be higher, won't be lower. If you wanted to take that distribution from your current Edward Jones account or brokerage account or 401k, wherever the money's at, you could do that distribution, but you're going to run out of money at age 83. You're not getting enough returns to support that high of a distribution. In fact, I'm going to show you the returns that you're going to need here in a minute, but just know that if you try to replicate it, you're going to run out of money. If you want your money to last, that's your real objective, is longevity. The more realistic distribution you could take is about $7,800. That's quite a pay cut to the annuity. And this is also assuming the markets cooperate. We don't have sequence of returns risk. It's kind of a best case scenario here, is a serious pay cut, and we're still subject to a lot of risk by using that approach. If the third goal is, I want to match the income from the annuity and I want to make my money last, what sort of returns do I need to get out of my current portfolio? Well, those returns would need to be almost 9%, 8.62%. And remember, this is a 50-50 portfolio, which means that the equity side, the fixed side has to get 4%. That's doable, but the equity side needs to guarantee 13% a year, each year, year in and year out. How many people are going to guarantee that? There's not many. And that's really where the point we're trying to make here, is that it's almost impossible to replicate what the annuity does. Is it a good investment? Absolutely. In fact, we're able to generate high income without the risk that you're taking on right now with your brokerage account, and you probably cannot replicate it on your own. So if you'd like a simple report like that, that'll help you not only sell the annuity, but 12 months from now, when somebody forgets why they have an annuity in their portfolio and they hear Ken Fisher or some other person badmouth an annuity, and they come back to you and say, hey, why do I have this in my portfolio? We can take this out and say, remember, we looked at doing this on your own and doing it in a way that takes less risk and cash flows more. Oh yeah, okay, I remember. This is a way to protect your practice as well. So that report is available in our annuity alpha software. If we're talking about clients saving for retirement and we want to show them why saving in a contract, like an IUL contract, is more beneficial than just continuing to defer through a 401k or IRA, especially your unmatched money. So this is a guy that's 50, he's got $6,000 of annual contributions that aren't going to be matched, okay? I'm not going to fight the matched dollars, take the free money. But unmatched dollars here, what we would do in our software is put in how much he's saving, when he wants to retire, age 65, his tax liability now and in the future. That's up to you to forecast. We can help you with that if you like, but this is what we did for this client, 20 going up to 23 and then 26% later on at death. And he's on a 50-50 portfolio. We gave some return assumptions and fee assumptions, and we do a tax and income analysis. Very simple for clients and prospects to understand. Here's what we show up front. If you keep doing what you're doing, Mr. Client or Mr. Prospect, you'll get to defer 29 grand in taxes. What is that? Well, that's the earnings that are happening within your 401k that would normally be taxed, but because you're in a deferred account, we get to defer them. However, once you hit 65 and you start taking a systematic withdrawal from this account and spending it, you're going to have $81,000 in taxes over your lifetime. So a simple way to present this would be, do you want to pay $29,000 in taxes or $81,000 in taxes? Or, which I hope, if they say I'd rather pay 81 than maybe you just shake their hand and say thank you, but I'm gonna find another client. Another way to look at this is to say, if I could show you a way to avoid the $81,000 in taxes altogether, would you be open to a tax-free savings vehicle rather than a deferred vehicle? And oftentimes, either way you present that, people are like, yes, show me some alternatives. So that report, the tax part of it is very simple. The income analysis is a comparison. So we just say, if you keep saving $6,000 in your 401k, here is about the net income you could take. And what our software does is says, look, if you accumulate 6,000 a year, by the time you hit retirement, you'll have about 177,065. If we took the largest withdrawal we can from that amount, it's about 10 grand. After taxes, you net 6,800 bucks, and your total net benefit's 233. So we tried a one-page snapshot, very simple. Here's about the cash flow you could expect and the total benefit you could expect. Hey, okay, I get it. What about a Roth? I've got a Roth option in my 401k. Okay, let's run the Roth analysis. This is also a software report. And you can see if we save after tax, we do accumulate less money, 136,000 versus 177,000. But our income does what? Goes up. We don't have any taxes, and the spread might be bigger if we use bigger returns or bigger tax rates, but we can see the benefit to the Roth. And now let's run an IUL. And here's where we keep it really simple. We've worked with the carriers so that you can input maybe half a dozen data points off of your insurance illustration and have a one-page report rather than a 30-page report that tells a really nice story from a cash flow standpoint for the client. So here's what the IUL illustrated rate at 6% cash flows and the total benefit, including the death benefit for the client. So you've got three reports here. I've got a Roth option, a 401k option, an IUL option. I can show these three reports and say, which one do you want to, works best for you? Now, one thing that we do know is once we're in an IUL, we're in a private contract, not an account, not a 401k account, not a Roth account. The IUL account is, as we mentioned up front, we're trying to help you eliminate legislative risk. This will help us do that in your portfolio. And although that's great, it also cash flows a lot more than the other two options. So keeping it simple. Another couple of items that I'll show you here to keep it simple. We have one pager like this. It's our highlight report. So if somebody's saving 10 grand a year for 20 years and you want to be able to use a one pager instead of 30 pages of illustration from a carrier, what you do in our software is you pick the carrier you want to use, you run the illustration just like you normally would, you plug it into this highlight report, and we load in the proper disclosures from that carrier that says this is compliant as a supplemental. And you can share this, which is much easier to share this one pager. We're putting in 10 grand for 20 years. You'll invest 200,000 at 66. You've got 277. It's going to cash flow 23 grand. Your average rate of return is 7%. And oh, by the way, if something happens early on, you've got a death benefit of 381. Visually, we're doing this. We're investing 200,000 so that you get 1.8 million out, Mr. Prospect. Great, I get it. How do we go forward? Keeping it simple will help sell. The other simplified report people use on our IUL software is our cost report, because people will say, well, I heard insurance is expensive. Great, let's run a Stonewood cost report on this IUL, which means you have to input 2 or 3 data points into our software and you'll get a one-page compliant cost report that looks like this that says, guess what? If we hold this long-term, your average cost is 33 basis points. How's that compare to your current situation, your 401k or IRA? Usually the IUL for younger savers is very inexpensive. And even for folks that were doing conversion planning, which I'm going to show you next, very reasonable and usually in line with a lot of other financial products. This is just a one pager that you can use for your own edification on, is this expensive, or to overcome this objection. And you run a report and sometimes you'll say, oh man, this thing's 4%. Let me find another carrier. Or you'll run something and say, man, this thing's less than 1%. This is way better. We've made a tax case and an income case. Now we're making a cost case for a benefit. And the nice thing about what we've done is we've simplified the process. We haven't even talked about the market indexing. We haven't talked about the living benefits. There's a lot of other things here that really could be beneficial for the client. So keeping it simple, reducing tax risk and legislative risk, and doing it in a way where a client or prospect gets it, that's what we're all about. So last part of this is the conversion planning. I'm going to hit this fairly quickly just because it's similar to that retirement tax bill marketing program. We just get into our software and we can get much more detailed on this $500,000 and what a reallocation looks like. Does the conversion amount affect someone's tax rate? Does it bump them up a bit? We can control for all that in the software, but usually this report is still very easy. Here's what happens if you keep your IRA. Here's what happens if we allocate it to a tax-free. And so we can say there's several $100,000 of tax benefit through this macro analysis or conversion. We can also do the income comparison. If you keep your $500,000 and defer it from age 60 to 70, you'll accumulate 722 and your total net income is going to be about 29 grand and about 876,000 after taxes. If we convert to a Roth, we're better off because there's no taxes. Income goes up, benefit goes up. What happens if we convert to an IUL? Same thing. We've got a much higher income, and because of the death benefit, we get a pop in total distribution, total benefit that the Roth and the IRA can't provide. And we're also now in an account instead of a contract. So these reports, guys and gals, we just want to make it simple for you to be able to present a tax and income analysis for it. And this is an introduction to all this. If the resources are beneficial to you, you don't have to be an expert right away. We do a live event, in-person training a couple times a year. We take 2 days and show you how to use all this, how to incorporate a story cell around tax and legislative risk. We actually have a virtual version of our live event coming up June 3rd, 4th, and 5th. We typically charge for that, but through our relationship with IAMS, a partnership with IAMS, you can attend it and take a deep dive on this. If these things are resonating with you and it's like, yeah, I would like to know more, you can attend our live event, talk to your marketer, and you can get you registered for that. We also do, if you come on as a Stonewood member, we do help you with an onboarding, show you how to use our marketing, how to use our lead gen, how to build out those reports. We help with case design. And then you'll also see invitations for our quarterly State of the Union calls, which is what's happening in Washington that you should be aware of, that you can use to help mitigate this legislative risk. Monthly study groups, you'll see invitations to those. Those all get archived in our Stonewood dashboard. So I would say if you're interested in getting started with this, we've got a couple different options for you. You can talk to your marketer, of course, or jump on our Stonewood financial site. We have one specifically for IAMS. You can set up a membership, either an IUL membership or annuity membership monthly. It's $199 a month with a $299 setup fee. You can use it for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, however long you want to use it. We want to price this so that you can start winning more business and get a positive return on your investment right away. If you would say, hey, this is something I'm going to use for the next 12 months, IAMS will pick up about $300 of this. This has a discount. These are usually $300 more, but they'll pick up an annual membership and there's no setup fee for this. So you save about $400 or $500 off a monthly membership. But that's really what we're doing and how we're addressing tax and legislative risk through keeping it simple, giving you marketing that works, software that works and keeps it simple, and hopefully helps you bring on more prospects to clients and help nurture along current clients to do new business in the tax-free space. So that's really all I have prepared. I'll kick it back over to you, Curtis, if there's anything else that you want to add.
Well, great presentation, Tyler. I appreciate you going into that. I think one of the neat things about what you guys do is that you're always innovating. And so obviously you've been very well known in the IUL space for a number of years, and you've launched this annuity alpha and then continued to add to what you're doing on the marketing side. Because, that's the thing, at the end of the day, it's great to have the knowledge, but how do you get that out to the prospect base? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to launch our final poll of the day. If you're interested in getting access to Stonewood or learning more information on that, check yes. I can have one of the sales directors reach out to you to chat with you about that. One thing I would ask of you, Tyler, I mean, do you feel like, I mean, we're in an election year. I mean, do you feel like you get more interest from the consumer base around taxes and legislative things when we're in that type of a year?
Absolutely. I think we're getting a tremendous response to our legislative risk seminar and webinar, predominantly because I think we're in an election year where people are so uncertain about what's happening in Washington. And when they see a title of a seminar that says Washington in your retirement, how to protect yourself from legislative risk, that's something where people are tuning in. They want to hear about it. And all we really want from marketing is to be able to sit down with somebody and have a conversation. And that is something that I think is resonating right now because people are just scared about what's going on. And they need some guidance, they need some help. And we've got a lot of marketing and a lot of software that can help you do that in a real simple way.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you taking the time. For all of you that joined us today, I appreciate you spending some time with us as well. And we'll be in contact with you, and I hope you have a great rest of the day. Thanks.
All right, thank you. Thanks for having me.